Hey, I'm Sophia Miles, and this is The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Hello, fellow Whovians, and welcome to another edition of The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil. I'm the host for tonight. We're going to be having a great time. Oh, come on. I was going to do it a little later, but that's cool. That's cool. All right. Hey, folks, welcome. For those of you just joining us, welcome. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Help out the channel out there. And thank you for joining us tonight. Now, you probably saw the little moniker that said, Doctor Who, where are you? But I'll go into more details about that. There we are. So there is an explanation. I do have a story behind that. But before we begin, let's go ahead and bring in everybody. I'll go ahead and do this at random. So without further ado, let me go ahead and add somebody who hasn't been here in quite some time, and we're glad he's back. Robert Lupo of Lupo Outdoors. How you doing there, Robert? Welcome back.
Thank you so much. It's great to be back, honestly. It's been a while.
How you doing? I know. How you doing, my friend?
I am doing well. Almost fully recovered. Now I just have to get my endurance back and try to avoid hospitals this year.
That's what I've been trying to do every single year. There was just one year that I couldn't avoid it. So there you go. I mean, hospitals bad. Doctors good.
As we get older, bad. It sucks.
Yeah, especially, there's a particular doctor that I want to see, but that's a totally different story altogether. Speaking of doctors, I'm going to it's trying to segue into this, but let's go ahead and bring in Reverend Amagon. Yeah, because he's got his merchandise all over the place. How you doing there, Rev?
And I'm also a doctor. I have an honorary doctorate.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's true. Reverend is because I'm a minister, and I have an honorary doctorate of divinity, just like it's another reverend who had an honorary doctorate of divinity. So I can legally say I'm a doctor. Everything.
Oh, good grief. So you could actually marry people. You could actually preside and and marry people, correct? Is that what the reverend part does?
Yeah, just like Gadget. Just like my
cool.
My other co-host Kenzo Creations, we have the ability to do these things.
Oh my, cool. Speaking of the ability, we're bringing in Melanie. That's
where are we going with that?
You're talented.
I told you these are going to be great tonight. This is going to be different.
Funny enough, I also have that reverend part too. I did online class so I can marry a friend. So yeah.
Really? We got some reverends.
Well, it's handy to have.
So I'm not a reverend. I just have my PhD. So
he just went here. He just did the online
so they can take care of you, and he can cure you if you're having every issues there.
So at least two doctors.
Even better.
At least two doctors, two reverends as well.
Two doctors, two reverends.
So we're going to bring in our producer of this episode.
I got nothing.
Dave and I are switching around. How you doing? No, you don't.
I got nothing. I'm not a reverend. I'm not a doctor. I'm nothing. I'm not a host.
Do you have your lord? Do you have your lordship?
Yeah.
No.
You didn't even have.
I don't even have that.
Okay, I'm going to gift that for you for Christmas. You'll get your square inch of land in Ireland.
We were supposed to get that. I'll get that.
I got
from our Australian friend, and I never did. And then for whatever reason, I never got it. He doesn't like me.
That's Joseph from the No Name Trivia Show. If you ever want to check him out there, yeah, he's giving out land from Ireland. I'm sure I got a spot about this big, and some dogs probably feed on it at this point. So I'm just like, I was wondering if we could just get land together and just move, and then we can visit our land in Ireland. And
mine's a haunted forest in Scotland.
In a package,
honestly.
So we just look around and go, "Oh, look, that's ours." I've got a certificate to show it.
Ooh, a castle.
So, what's that?
Ooh, a castle.
Ooh, squirrel.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, a castle. Ooh. Oh wait, I'm a gold. That's a goldfish, not an Irish.
I'm telling you, Melanie, if you got land in Ireland and I got land, we'll bring like a little tiny castle and just put on it.
We can get a small. We can make our the inches can become like a nice little square foot kind of. We put our tippy toe on it.
You know what you should do is buy one of those castle aquarium ornaments, and then permanently attach it to that square foot of land in Ireland, and say, "I have a castle in Ireland."
See, I like the way he thinks.
I'm going to get mine a moat and that running fountain thing going on out there,
and you can put a goldfish in it.
Ooh, a castle.
I have a haunted tree.
Rails. So anyway, speaking of off the rails, let's go ahead and bring her on in. Dave, let's go ahead with the Who Knew News.
All right, let's just do. There we go.
Gadget, do you have a plot of land in Ireland? Do you have your own Ireland? Have you got?
Well, the Faith and Begor is the only thing I can say in my Gaelic and everything. But I was trying to find my star certificate from the Belinda Chandra episode. Remember, I had that and everything. Oh, yes. Plus, I also have this little thing right here. What does that say?
Yes.
I also have a certificate to marry. Oh, my address is on there. I pulled a Christian. But no, if people know where I live, they don't bother to come anyway. They don't want to work. That's what it is, because I put them to clean this place. But we have short news because we only have one birthday, right?
Mm-hmm. One birthday, yeah.
One birthday, and sorry, I got stuck on the chair. And we also have rumor news, meaning like stop with the rumors, basically. But now I have a hard time saying her name because we tried last year and everything. How do you pronounce it? Deitch or
if you I think it's Deitchen Lockman. I believe that's how you pronounce her name.
Deitchen Lockman. She turns 44 2 days ago, and believe it or not, she's got in post-production 2 movies right now called Vampires of the Velvet Lounge and Other Mommy, and those are to be announced coming out in 2026. And everything, but most of you know her for her other shows and everything, such as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Wow, she was in Baymax too. Okay, and also Jurassic World, Chaos Theory, and Shameless. Very versatile actress and everything, and everybody's hoping to see what she'll do next. And I just gave it away, those 2. But right now, it's all she has listed coming up for the season and everything, but her last ones, like I said, were Jurassic World for television, and the last time we saw her on the screen was in The Power Within, Aftermath, and The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Joe Baby in 2024. So I'm wondering, because this thing looks good. Vampires of the Velvet Lounge looks very good. It's a comedy horror film written and produced by Adam Sherman, and it says the film is scheduled to be released in the United States. Oh, March 20th, 2026. They just gave a date for it. So we get to see her pretty soon on camera.
I think there's one more thing you missed. Dave, put her back up on the screen.
Which one?
There's one more other thing. This picture, I am 99% sure, was taken before Torchwood Miracle Day.
I'm wondering.
She I know had a very, very, very small part. I think she got killed off by Gwen. So but she had a very, very small role. She was the woman who fought when in the airplane, and I think her neck got broken or something, or like her neck got broken. And
yeah, she ain't coming back to Who.
Well, no. Her neck got broken, and remember, this was Miracle Day when nobody could die
except for Jack.
She was walking around with a broken neck. So poor girl, but yeah. Happy birthday, Dichen. And I think she was is she in a series called Dollhouse, I think.
Yes, she was with Elijah Dushku.
Yes.
I say it right.
Yep. I think you got it right. Elijah Dushku, better known for Buffy and Angel. But happy birthday. And how old does she turn?
44, according to this.
Oh, okay. So.
Yeah. And then, like I said, there's not really any news with Doctor Who, only speculation going around because of Murray Gold and everything, saying there's there's multiple endings, I should say. I was told 3, but it has to do, like, allegedly, because it has to do with everything, like they said, scheduling, everything. This was last minute, people. We didn't know what was happening with Who, because remember, Disney pulled out everything. So many people are hungry for a story, and yes, people are going to slip up, people are going to say things and stuff like that. But I've watched from the original source, different outlets change the whole concept of what was said to make it sound much better. So I allegedly want all my podcasters, all my vloggers, everybody out there, start sticking to the original story and go from there. Don't play telephone, because what might be coming might be out of left field. You never know what this program in this genre, because it's trying to sell itself, you know?
Gotcha. I have a question for you, and this is just a very big side on the Who Knew News.
Yeah.
How do you determine what you say is going to be on the news? Like, what is your selective process when you say, okay, I'm going to go with this, as opposed to I just saw this on some social media site?
Because a good journalist does their homework. A good journalist basically will research everything. Like, we almost got caught. I remember with Matt Smith being in Star Wars and everything, and it was hashtagged from a story that was over 5 years old, or it was a rumor that was spread and everything. I've learned and got a college degree in it that you have to do your homework or it can backfire on you. And I've had a couple of podcasts that I've seen. I warn people, I tell people, I'm like, listen, be honest, be truthful. If you make a mistake, retract it and everything. Some of them just want to get news out there, and that's what hurts a brand. That's what hurts a channel. That's what hurts a show, because all this misleading leads you down a rabbit hole you don't want to go down and then try to climb out, you know, because you don't want to mislead your audience. And lately, allegedly ChatGPT has been misleading people. Allegedly, we call it the wiretap machine, because it'll trigger mine, is misleading people. It's giving the wrong information because it's not schooled enough or learning enough, you know? So I go and I say, let me go check with my sources, allegedly. Let me go check with a reputable news station or reputable paper in England. I talk to people I know that are in England. I talk to people with other entertainment studios and everything that I have allegedly worked with and dealt with over the years, because I've either met them through conventions, jobs, or just helping them behind the scenes, or through, like, I'm 1 degree away from my teacher was Kevin Bacon's brother, Michael. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I have connections that I trust, and I even second guess them too, but that's the idea. You have to do your homework. I don't want people being misled.
Understood. No. I appreciate it. I just, you doing the news, I just wanted to know how you.
Yeah, like, that's why I check everything. Like, so I go, when I ask you guys in the green room, I go, do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want that? Because I found stories that are legit, but they might not be relevant for the episode we're doing, or it might not be relevant for something going on. Or, like, if we need a filler, I'll look for something that an actor is doing that was a former Who star, if they're coming back or not, or if there's anything related that they're doing for charity or stuff like that.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Cool beans. All righty. Any other news, Gadget, before we go ahead and wrap up?
No, I just, like I said, I just don't want everybody getting their hopes up and then getting crushed that we don't get the Christmas episode we want, or, God forbid, Doctor Who doesn't come back, allegedly. we've
you're
had
looking
that
for a
happen.
consensus on the news. You're basically looking for just like more than one just outlier out there. You're looking for something that matches up and says, okay, this is it.
Yeah, like we're basically telling the truth that there is no story, or that what you heard is a rumor, or it might have been a leak, it might not have been a leak, take it with a grain of salt and everything. We don't want to mislead our audience, because that's the one big thing about social media today. We don't know what it is, and especially now with AI allegedly coming in, we don't know if anything. I mean, if you look at some of the stuff that's been going on, there's been a few stories that have been, you saw the AI images of them being on set. You saw like everything. So you see, you can't always,
Can't believe everything that you see, especially with the AI world out there. All right.
Yeah.
All right, David, let's go ahead and wrap up the Who Knew News, bumper it out, and let's get back to our show.
Uh-oh.
Tristan is on mute.
That's very, very disturbing. Especially, never mind. Anyway. All right. Well, we are professionals. That's that.
And like I should have said too, you also might have some insight. I might not have insight, and they might match, they might not match, because some people are under orders not to speak. Allegedly.
Gotcha. Okay.
In summation, Gadget has ethics.
Yes.
I had a teacher very big on that in class. That's why.
This is not Don Henley's dirty laundry playing here.
No. Okay, moving on. Let's get this shown. So I was trying to, I was going, Melanie, over my head how I was going to explain this. And this is going around town and such. Things have been happening. And I don't know how to explain this. I'll try my best. Do you guys understand what the Mandela effect is?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, the cornucopia and all the other stuff that we grew up with.
Cornucopia, yeah. And for our friends who may not be familiar with it, I'll explain. But it has something. It's the best way I can explain to describe it. First of all, the Mandela effect is if there's something that everybody generally knows is out there, but never existed, like the Fruit of the Loom cornucopia. It existed. One woman pulled it out over there, but Fruit of the Loom said no, we never had a cornucopia, and there it was.
I gotta go check my
so now. It's always this impression of something universally known but never existed. And I think it was spawned on by Nelson Mandela, when people thought he was dead, but then he was still alive, or vice versa. I think
they thought he died in prison.
They thought he died in prison, but he was still alive. Okay.
And he didn't die in prison. Yeah.
Coming up with episodes of this show, because next week we're going to do a review of Human Nature, continuing our reviews of the classic New Who stuff. And sometimes I'll go along and check out other podcasts, other Doctor Who podcasts, to see what they're looking at and see what they're doing. And lo and behold, I've been thinking about this, but I didn't know how to explain it. And I came across Theories. He's a fellow YouTube podcaster in the UK. And he had a short that came out. And I think I'll let Theories explain it. And then he
was the one who got the part in Doctor Who that episode.
He was actually, he was a podcaster in Doctor Who. So he actually had a role in it. I hate him. So anyway,
no, he's sweet.
Seethes with jealousy.
Hell yeah.
Allegedly.
If I could be, you don't understand, Melanie. If I could be dressed up as a plant in the background and just have Jodie Whittaker run on top of me, I'm like ecstatically happy.
Grab one of them from the Super Bowl halftime show. They've got it. I mean, I don't know what they do with them afterwards, so just start running.
That is a good question. Like, what did they do?
Yeah, they didn't want to push them in there. They wanted to get people to walk in there. Get it? That's what they did. Instead of pushing them in.
I just want the person who went up to the person who was doing the costuming and going like, "Hey, we have an idea." So I was just like, we're going to have to make this. Yeah. So without further ado, Dave, if you could go ahead and play the video of the short by Theories. And we want to thank Theories for his permission to show this short, which kind of inspired me to do this particular episode. Take it away, Dave.
Lads, I am here to inform you of an absolute crisis. in the latest series of Junior Bake Off, Harry Hill makes a Dalek joke to one of the kids, and this is their response.
Hi, Zachariah.
Hello?
I am a Dalek. You fan of Doctor Who?
Pardon?
Never mind.
They didn't know what a Dalek was. They didn't know what a Dalek was, but it's worse than that. They didn't know what Doctor Who was. No idea. Nothing at all. Russell, fix this. This is what happens when you don't have the Daleks on screen for 3 years, Russell. We need to sort this out. Everyone who's raising kids right now, show your kids Doctor Who. We cannot let the next generation fall to lack of Doctor Who knowledge. I'm determined to cure this epidemic.
Thank you, and again, thank you for kind permission, Theories, for using that particular short that is allowing us to get this episode out there. So just out of curiosity, before we proceed, what are your thoughts about what Theories just said?
I think it's overblown, personally.
Yeah, it's not that Daleks haven't been on screen for a couple of years. It's nobody's watching, the youth aren't watching the show. And they're not watching the show because everybody has a 15 second, attention span. Everyone's watching TikTok and YouTube shorts. Most of these kids have no attention span to watch a regular show anymore, because the first thing they do when they can speak is you give them an iPad and they just sit there and they watch TikTok all day long. If you go to the amusement parks, the kids aren't even looking at the rides and the attractions. They're staring at an iPad screen. You paid $100 to get the kid in to stare at an iPad screen.
My thing is he could have been also the opposite, like I was raised, where mom only gave me so many hours of television, like some people do in Japan and everything too. And she didn't know I was watching this because she thought I was watching PBS, and I would see Dark Shadows and Doctor Who at the back to back and everything and stuff. And she didn't know until she came in and was like, "What are you watching?" and everything. And I'm like, "Oh, something from Britain and everything, English." And she goes, "Okay, whatever, just as long as it's not junk or anything like that." Like, we had to shut the TV off at 4:00. We did our homework and blah, blah, blah and everything. So by the time I got to, damn that.
Screw the podcast. We're watching.
Yeah, no, it's just that night.
She's the one to kitty.
She's a baby.
This is better
Are you fostering or
are
you fostering or adopting? Are they adopted?
It is the cat distribution system. I find them in the warehouse I work at.
Well, okay, I'm going to be honest with you. They say in certain Asian cultures and other cultures that the cats are our children that we can't have yet in real life. So that might be your children.
Hey, all my kids are grown and I still want kitties.
For babies,
I don't have to put them through college, so we're good. We are.
But
but
when
it could be that, like that kid probably wasn't for
Doctor Who. This is like the Tom Baker era, or that's how we got introduced to it. There's specific doctors who make a stand, who drive the population of the show. So, I mean, back when I was younger, it was Tom Baker who really pulled in the fans. And then in the new revival, it was David Tennant who really pulled in the fans. And it just, without stand apart, doctors to generate the interest, it starts to fade. Unfortunately, kind of where we are now. How do we get the youth into the show again?
Well, that's what what is that? That CB baby kids?
CBBs.
That one, that's why I think they're starting with that and everything. And they're bringing the preschoolers in to see what it is. But I think it's a losing battle so far because it is streaming service now. You don't have cable. Back then we had black and white TV with antennas that only had 3 channels. So You know what I mean? And not what else could we do?
Well, that's a little pre-Doctor Who, but
no, I still had up until I was 12, 13 years old and everything. Like, we didn't get rid of any of the old tech because my family just was like, technology was not their thing and stuff. So I only got lucky that it was on PBS. If it wasn't on PBS, I wouldn't even known about it.
Well, I mean, like all my Doctor Who friends, I mean, we would go on to, PBS and, do the telethon to, generate money for it and all that stuff. And we had Doctor Who conventions, and I don't know of any Doctor Who conventions anymore that are strictly Doctor Who. I mean, we had back in the San Francisco Bay Area, we had TimeCon, and that was all Doctor Who, and it was sold out every year, and now it's gone. The problem is we're dealing with a youth that has a 30-second attention.
And whose fault is that? It's the parents, because
absolutely the parents, because
they did not
shut up your kid. You hand them an iPad and you let them, watch TikTok all day long, and then that way you don't have to deal with them.
And then I posit this: they need to be making 30-second content.
It shouldn't be 30-second content. It should be teach kids how to use their brain and imagination.
Yeah, well, that's not happening. You got to meet people where they are, not where you would like them
That's
to
the
be.
point of marketing. You need to be sending stuff out to those kids because, well, I think what Darius did was just a cheeky little fun poke because one child on a British baking show is not a monolith.
And he's also a kid cooking. That's another thing. He's a kid cooking.
That's a kid who doesn't watch anything but food shows.
Right.
We can really put the kid under the microscope of demographics, what he's done, what he's bringing, all that kind of stuff. This child is not a monolith of all of the youth across the world. There are children right now that are going crazy that are on this wonderful platform of YouTube. That I have friends whose kids are 6 years old and they can tell me more about the Ultimate Warrior than I ever did.
Or anime.
That man has been gone since they were born, or even old anime. It's the content's out there, and there's a lot of children going out there finding the things that we even out today that we
have you seen any good
how are you into that?
There isn't any good. There's no good sci-fi anymore. That's what I'm thinking it is.
Well,
and the outlet.
That's a really good point, because we stopped telling stories of interest. Everything is about instant gratification,
hashtags,
and what we need to do is we need to go back to the roots and tell really good, interesting stories. I mean, we've talked about our favorite episodes of Doctor Who, and when we all talked about our favorite episodes of Doctor Who, everyone that we all have mentioned were top-rated stories that everyone loved. Like I said before,
Blink.
Mine was Blink. Blink just was, to me, a fantastic story. But nobody wants to tell stories anymore. What they want to do is they want to throw. I mean, right now on YouTube, the most popular thing that you could do to grow your channel is to put out shorts, because
or content that is like stupid.
So I keep on my YouTube channel, all of my
I feel attacked
long-form videos are under 2 minutes.
You're smart. It's shorts.
You do shorts, and you keep your content as, I mean, a lot of my content is just 3 or 4 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes, because people don't have the mind frame to go any further.
This cat's going to destroy this room, and my apologies for interrupting. My apologies for Benny interrupting.
What are their names? What are their names? What is it?
Her name is Benny.
That one's Benny. What's the other one?
Benjamin. Well, let's
no, not Benny.
Wait, what is it again? Benny is the white and
Benjamina, and Luna. Luna's the other one.
Okay, Luna.
Oh, you didn't go with the Jets?
No, I didn't go with the Jets. I went with Benjamin, but then little Benjamin, we were discovered was a girl, so we changed it to Benjamina. I like
Benny.
I like Benny.
What we need to do is instead of the cat alert or the pet alert, we'll have the audio of Benny screaming anytime the cat jumps on the screen. So, all right. Well,
okay. Here we go.
That was an interesting discussion, but here I'm going to elevate the question a little bit more because
Melanie, I sent you something like funny, like that would be an example of trying to get people to watch and everything. I know I sent you that picture.
Well, let me explain a little bit more because I don't know if Melanie's ever seen this, but this was a cute thing that I came up with a while back. Now, I remember, I think it was you who told me, Melanie, that if you go to Hogsmeade and Hogsworth and Diagon Alley over at Universal Studios, those team members would know Doctor Who. They're fans of both. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I would say you're right. And a while back, as a goof, and we're trying to make this a thing, I hope you appreciate it. This is Sonic Wand.
I love it.
I forgot about that.
This is Sonic Wand. And for those of you who are not familiar, I was trying to find a friend who would actually take a sonic screwdriver and combine it to a working, you can see the little tip, a working
they couldn't put
Harry
the
Potter
RFID in the tip? Oh,
What's
that's
that?
easy. That's easy. Bring it to MegaCon. This is happening.
I wanted to take this and put it in here.
Bring
and
it to
make
MegaCon.
that the working thing.
Right.
But I said, you know what? These two need to get together. So I came up with this, and I was like, I would bring it to Mega. Yeah, this is
bring it to MegaCon. I will have that
MegaCon.
done.
And it's still
is that guy coming to MegaCon?
So the typical wand is nothing but a round bead, bead that's reflective internally. So I dropped my wand and the bead popped off. So you can actually input that bead anywhere you want.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like a little RFID. It's you can.
Well, it's not an RFID at all. It's infrared.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. An RFID transmits when it gets a signal.
Well, to make a long story short,
right up on top of here. Like, where is it? Where's this one? Oh my god.
Well, to make a long story short, so we can go ahead to get to the commercial breaks because I know we're at the halfway marker.
Yes.
When I take this now, Dave, to Universal and I walk around Diagon Alley and Hogsmeade, everybody recognizes this part. Nobody talks about this part anymore. And in fact, there were a couple people. There was a guy freaking out. He was going like, "How much is that worth? Where are they selling it?" I'm like, "They don't."
Sir, let me direct you to these zip ties.
Exactly. It's like, I don't think he saw because it was dark in the middle of the night, but yeah, this was just zip tied together, but I thought it was cool. And going up to, but the thing is, I would walk up to team members and do the thing. And
even the sound didn't know?
The team members didn't know this part of the Sonic Wand.
No, not now.
So I was like, they didn't know Doctor Who as of today. They don't know anything about Doctor Who, and I had to explain it to people. Some people are like, "That's really cool. We sell those?" No. So I was just like, no, I had to put it together.
You better patent it now and start doing something because you might be able to make some money off of that.
you know. Christian, what we should do is get a group of us and go to Harry Potter land there, dressed as Doctor Who characters.
I've said, I'll have people go in, and I actually put out an invite on my own personal Facebook page. I said, listen, anybody who has the Harry Potter cape or robe or whatever that thing is called,
robes.
The robes. If you have it, we'll do a photo shoot and I'll have you introduce the Sonic Wand, and we were going to do videos and stuff. Nobody bit, but yeah, I'll be more than happy if somebody wants to cosplay.
I'd be down for that anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm holding you accountable.
So you're going to make your own Sonic Wand, right?
Channel, which is the Orlando Wizard, which I do mostly, theme parks. Watch my Universal one. And I show you how to get picked by the wand master. I get picked 9 out of 10 times, and I get picked over children.
Oh, damn.
So you got to watch the video. And my technique, I have people who refuse to go in with me. You're just going to get picked. And I get picked almost every single time.
Cool. Well, I might do that, but like I said, to make a long story short, because we're up against the wall for the commercial breaks.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The best way I can say this, Dave, is now I've lived a life now to this day where I'm seeing 20 and 30-year-olds today. If I said the words Elvis or Sinatra or the Beatles, I get blank stares. So now I'm walking through a theme park of people who I thought were Whovians, and I get blank stares, even with the Sonic, even with this bad boy.
Even a doctor was in Harry Potter. That's the sad part. There was a doctor in Harry Potter. There was a doctor in the Lord of the Rings. There was a doctor in... Yeah.
But that's what I was saying about this Mandela effect. I'm just like, the doctor, and that's why the show's called Doctor Who, Where Are You? Because I don't know where he is anymore. I'm just like, I'm slowly seeing, living in a world where Doctor Who just kind of fizzles out. And I'm just like saying, and when we get back, we're actually going to do the little exercise where everybody's going to be production or promotion assistants, and what your take would be. And we'll go into the chats too to see, hey, how would you pitch Doctor Who at this moment, now that we've lost Disney Plus, now that we lost Russell T Davies, we've lost Shudigawa, we have Billy Piper, who might possibly be the next Doctor, who knows? And then it's just like Doctor Who's had some great moments and some not so great moments. So, I mean, like, how do we pitch this to people to try to get it back up? I know about the, Doctor Who's dead thing, and we're not going to talk about it. What we're going to try to do is focus on trying to get people back into it, and people who may have forgotten about it, how we reinvent the wheel and try to get them back into enjoy it again. What do we need to do if you were in the promotion section? But without further ado, let's go ahead. We're on a commercial break, and we return. We'll continue with our panel talking about Doctor Who, Where Are You? Don't forget to get our barbecue sauce, which we'll be selling at MegaCon, but we'll go into more details when we return.
I didn't listen to that voicemail. I'll tear open that letter you sent. Don't you tell your friends I want you back. I gotta leave you now and unread, because you've already said those words that switch my heart to dead from loving you. So you'll stay ghosted and I'll stay focused on sewing clothes. The spell stays unspoken, a dark silhouette of a marked man and broken. Right down, I didn't listen to that voicemail. TikTok, that story you sent. Don't you reel me in to get me back. I'm gonna leave you now.
Are you tired of toxic fandoms? Do you wish we could go back to being happy? So do we. We created the Happiness Patrol to get away from all of the toxicity in fandoms, in life, and so we decided we wanted to do a show about something that makes us happy. And in the first season, that something is Star Wars. So join myself, Cameron, Scott, Jessica, and Melanie on Happiness Patrol at youtube.com/@HappinessPatrolShow.
I'm author Mark Muncy.
And I'm author Erica Lance.
And this is Eerie Travels.
Greetings, travelers. Join us as we travel through folklore, myths, monsters, legends, and dark history.
Now, we'll be your guide to the spooky side of reality as we discuss cryptids, paranormal, and all things preternatural.
Sometimes we find the truth is way scarier than fiction.
We're on twice a week on your favorite podcast platforms, including iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube.
We have amazing guests from all of the areas of the strange and unusual, including witnesses, investigators, and more.
Yeah, with Erica's curiosity and ridiculous array of pop culture and true crime knowledge.
And Mark's decades of experience diving into folklore and the legends with the truth that's behind them.
Yeah, so join us, travelers, as we take you to the edge of reality, and we'll see you on the other side.
So what's your favorite Western? Is it this one or maybe one of these? Is it a revisionist Western, an anti-Western, or maybe it's an all-time classic? Whether your favorite Western is in black and white, vibrant Technicolor, a spaghetti Western, a neo-Western, a comedy, or maybe it's only really Western in spirit. Whatever it is, this is the podcast dedicated to determining the top 100 Westerns of all time. Every second Monday on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. It's Horses on Film.
Hello, I'm Nick Briggs, and you're listening to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. I say Traveling Time Lord.
Do it again. Just do it again. Just for the go. Okay. Just for the sake. Go ahead, Nick.
Hello, I'm Nicholas Briggs, and this is the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Did you delete something?
No, I moved something. Let me run this for you because there's a reason why I'm going to run it.
Hello, I'm Sadie Miller, and this is the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS.
Yay! I was screwing around with Dave just a little bit too much.
Yes, because I was ready to do Sylvester McCoy. I had the cursor over Sylvester McCoy. I pushed play, and it was Nick Briggs, and I'm like, "What's going on?"
No, what I was trying to do is I went, "Oops, I forgot something," and I've switched out Sadie for Nick, but David's really efficient, so he went ahead and hit Nick Briggs. So the reason why we were playing Sadie at the end of that, because we want to welcome Sadie Miller, welcome her. We want to wish her a happy birthday, which will be taking place tomorrow. So if you're watching this on the 24th of February, 2026, tomorrow on the 25th is Sadie Miller's birthday. So happy birthday, Sadie. And for those of you who may not be familiar with Sadie, she is the daughter of Elizabeth Sladen, and she also does her mother's voice as Elizabeth Sladen in Now the Big Finish. So, and I know she's got some new stuff coming out over there, so please check it out, bigfinish.com. But happy birthday, Sadie, an incredible woman, beautiful woman. So, and I hope you get a chance to meet her, because we've also done an interview with Sadie, and you can check that out. Just type in Traveling TARDIS Sadie Miller, find it, and enjoy. So welcome back to Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basil. That's Tom. That's Dave. That's Gadget. This is Melanie. Melanie's her cat's somewhere, and that is Robert at the very end out there. And thank you for joining us. And we are doing an episode called Doctor Who, Where Are You? This is just a discussion about
Hashtag Benny.
I can't really explain this. It's just I want to say, like I said, the best way I can explain it is like the Mandela effect of Doctor Who, which is as I progress throughout my life, I'm beginning to see and realize that more and more Doctor Who is just kind of disappearing from the world. I mean, like Dave, I will go, Tom. I will go to a restaurant and I will bring this, and people will have no idea what I'm talking about. And people are walking by the hundreds, and everybody will look at it and go, "Oh, what is that?" I'm like, "Oh." And more I get through life. It's just like I said when we were talking earlier. I said there are people now on this planet that don't know who Frank Sinatra is, or David Bowie, or Billy Idol, or the Beatles. And it's
I actually disagree with that, because almost every teenager goes through a Beatles phase. Almost every teenager goes through.
I would say every generation goes through a Beatles phase. Mm-hmm. They come across it at one point, and then it's on their playlist for maybe about
it's
5
Beatles
minutes.
And classic rock. As
Ozzy and Ozzy, yeah.
But Frank Sinatra, most people, a lot of younger people have no clue who that is. But the Beatles hit a specific level where everybody kind of walked through that phase and, oh, I'm a Beatles fan, but you are correct when it comes to a lot of the old musicians. And I mean, even the older TV shows, I mean, it's like if you say Addams Family, nobody that's under 30 thinks of the original series. They think of like the Wednesday Netflix show.
Right.
So, but the question here with Doctor Who is, when did the popularity start to drastically decline? Because, I mean, we have people like, oh, the parents are watching Who and so forth, maybe the kids would get, involved with it. But the attention span of a kid is 30 seconds.
But wasn't originally Doctor Who made for kids and only half-hour segments?
No.
They were in parts, half-hour parts.
They were in half-hour
but
parts.
They weren't made for kids.
They said, but how come they said when I was reading the history on it, it was actually made to educate children?
It was a kids show.
Family show at best.
No, it was a family show, but not
Let
a
me
kid
see
show.
what I can.
I would say it's family show that was geared for kids. It was its focus was to get the kids.
It was
for
geared
the
to
entire
kids in a way as not to be offensive or PG-13. It was made for a family show, general adults.
The target audience was to bridge the gap between children and adult viewers.
Yes.
So
exactly. Friday, it was that Sunday night slot.
Ages 8 to 9 and up.
Yep. But it wasn't a kid show. It was designed as a family show. So parents and their kids could watch simultaneously. It wasn't so immature that the parents didn't want to watch it. And it wasn't so over the top that kids didn't get it. Harry Potter's an example. Kids and adults equally enjoyed Harry Potter. But it was specifically designed only for kids.
No, it's. I get what you're saying, and then I think everybody is right, and I think everybody in here who's brought up an answer is right in their own right, because the show has kind of re-evolved in itself. The first regeneration going into Patrick Troughton. I remember the the documentary Tom about Leela. Is like they were trying to get more dads into watching the show,
right.
So Leela showed up.
Like
so
the Power
I
Rangers.
mean, like, wouldn't say that was for kids, but I meant for kids that were growing up like me. Yeah, I was growing up a little faster than I wanted. I think they should when watching the show. But I would also argue that, when Doctor Who came to me, it came to me as a PBS show. It wasn't 30 minutes long. It was the whole episode. But somehow or another, I got hooked onto this character, and the shows were 90 minutes long. They were the full-on episodes. So a kid like me, I'm just sitting back and thinking, how did I get attracted to this? There's so many shows out there at the time during, the 70s and 80s. But this was the show I was getting hooked on as a kid. And it wasn't like the other shows. I mean, it wasn't a cartoon. It wasn't a superhero. It was a British guy in a police box, and it wasn't like commercial TV. This was like PBS style. So like there were no commercials. So I was watching just on straight through. And my first doctor was Tom Baker. So how did I get attracted? And why can't the kids get attracted the same way I did? I mean, is it a totally different audience? Is it a different generation that's growing up because of the CGI? Because I love the Doctor. I love Tom
even
Baker.
though you had Baker as your first Doctor, mine was the 5th, because by the time I was able to watch PBS, I saw the 5th Doctor. And then I started seeing Hartnell with the what is it? The toy, whatever. Because I get it mixed up all the time. Everything. That episode where he was playing the games with the toys and everything in the black and white. Mm-hmm. And then I got to see the one with Tom Baker later when he dressed up as like in the costumes and everything, trying to figure out his look with his scarf.
Oh, robot.
Yeah. Mm. But so here's the kick. Doctor Who has outlasted every sci-fi TV show ever being a sci-fi TV show. Lost in Space, Star Trek, everything, those shows have ended. Doctor Who had this forethought is when we are ready to go to, when this doctor is finished, or they don't want to do the show anymore, we'll just have them transform into another doctor,
and that was really by accident too, because Hartnell's medical condition.
What?
That was because of Hartnell's medical condition. The only reason we got a regeneration.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the key factor to that is the show never stopped. So, like Star Trek, 5 years. With Space 1999 was what, 2 or 3 years, and when you look at, they're like, all right, we're just done. Doctor Who continued over and over again. It just continued on, but there was key individuals, like I stated before, that boosted the next generation. So when Doctor Who went into like the next phase, and we had David Tennant for several years, he re-inspired a whole new generation of Doctor Who.
And that his series also got aired on Disney XD, got aired on Sci-Fi Channel, got aired. That's the difference too. It's not. Who's going to watch Doctor Who at 3 a.m?
Nobody.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it got. We can.
But no, that's a big point. It was on Disney XD, and Disney XD was a kids focused show program.
And and it was edited. Yes, it was edited because it was different, because they would show Sci-Fi one version of it, and Disney XD got the same episode, and you could tell it was edited a little bit and stuff. But they also took out certain episodes. Like, I didn't get to see one episode we were reviewing. It was my first time ever, because that episode never got shown because of content. The one we just did last time and everything, they never showed that on XD, nor did they show it on Sci-Fi because of content.
Yeah, because it's a little too heavy.
Right.
But that was the thing, is back then, and what they don't do now, and my biggest problem with it is 3 words: make it accessible. Where the hell can I have somebody watch Blink right now?
No, you can't. Because
you can't.
Pluto TV has the classic episodes up until 7.
Yep. Exactly.
But now to try to find the other ones, I got to go to YouTube and look up and everything, and they're in pieces.
And even then, if you can find the right person who's done it in so many pieces, because it will get pulled off for their licensing. So for me, it's the licensing grip is so hard on it. And honestly, you can't tell me that the WWE doesn't like their licensing grip either. But at least they've made it accessible in so many different ways. Where here, now that it's went to BBC, I'm sorry, it was stripped from the BBC America. It was moved to Disney. Disney wanted everything so they could have that hold on it, which again,
HBO Max still had the other episodes. They still had the new Who. That got pulled after this happened with the fallout.
It's our new version of the Wandering Years of
wilderness.
Buying ain't owning, which means you get to wander around trying to figure out what the hell it is.
Why was Doctor pulled from Disney Plus?
Sorry?
Because of contracts.
Nothing was pulled from Disney Plus.
There's no episodes. You only have Nashooties. That's it. You don't have any of the other stuff.
They were never on there.
No, those were on HBO Max. Those got pulled from HBO Max. They lost the contract with that one. So you can't even get new Who.
No. I can't find, even then, you can even point to the make it accessible or where the hell is it. That's been a problem since thinking new Who of new Who, I should say, with Jodie, when we had COVID and then having to wait a year and then finally having stuff and then waiting a year again.
That could have messed it up too, COVID, because nobody was really watching at that time either, because nobody was really acting, and then whoever didn't have streaming, who didn't have regular, because remember, it's not on regular TV anymore. You have to pay now. And what if a parent doesn't want to pay, or you don't have the money to pay for a premium channel and you just want basic, And some people don't pay for streaming sites.
Nobody under the age of 50 has cable anymore.
And for a show that
yes,
I'm
under 50. My parents have cable. It's in there. We got
exactly.
Every
Are
time
they
it goes,
under 50?
I'm under 50 and I have it. In a few months I'll be 50, but but I have cable.
Melanie, hang on, Gadget. Melanie, finish your thought there. Sorry.
Yeah.
For a show that's been on for well over 50 years that has this longevity. Name any other show that doesn't have this magical word called syndication that you can't find. I can turn on TV right now and I guarantee I can find
I just saw Full House on MeTV. I saw The Pretender. The Pretender was on MeTV as well.
I can find it on MeTV. I can find it on Tubi. Although Tubi does have classics, which is awesome. Or free
Pluto, everything.
Or Pluto, or any. But right now, any of the Eccleston, the year of Eccleston, the 3 years of Tennant, the 3 years of Matt,
up to Jody has been killed.
You can't find it. So I can see where Christian wants to look. Hey, look at my Sonic, with the wand. Nobody knows what the hell it is because nobody can find it. You can't find that content.
Why do we think this is happening?
The title of the
Why
show.
is it that it's almost impossible to watch shows anymore?
Money.
Yep.
It's licensing. It's licensing, baby.
If
it's
money doesn't talk, they walk. Money doesn't talk, they walk. I went through that with some of my gags. Yeah.
So who's fault is it?
As somebody who has to go to the licensing expo every damn year in Vegas. BBC
Oh, you lucky. I wish I could keep going.
There's freaking BBC. There's Doctor Who for some reason. Nobody can walk up into that room unless you have a scheduled meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My friend that worked for BBC.
And it's at that point where I think that they themselves, the BBC, they think they are on such a high horse.
Shooting yourself in the foot. This is called shooting yourself in the foot.
Oh, absolutely.
I've got this great product, but I'm not, my license is this or get nothing.
And I can't say something.
Eventually, nobody's going to want it at all.
Mel knows I can't say something right now. Mel knows I can't say something right now because I know something and I can't say something.
Also, Doctor Who has... Also, Doctor Who has what I consider, what I'm going to mention as the unfortunate, because when it comes to Star Trek, and I consider each new series as a regeneration, the old original, the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, it's almost feeling like there's a regeneration because there's a new story, but it's not necessarily a continuation, but they do flow and run into each other, whereas Doctor Who is supposed to be this one whole linear. And when it's all broken up and said and done, it's classic series from the 1st to the 7th, and then you got this TV movie in the middle of nowhere,
which wasn't even BBC. It was owned by Fox.
But by the way,
which has a 4K release right now.
Specials, go check it out. I've heard if you get a chance, the TV movie is now going to be, and its 30th special. It's
30th anniversary 4K release.
Exactly. Now we're going into classic New Who, which is basically what I call the BBC America chunk, which is going from Eccleston all the way up to Whittaker, and then Whittaker going into the Disney Plus. So we've got this cornucopia of just scattered timelines of the Doctor, and there's nothing coalescing them because Fox came in and bought it out, and all these streaming services are buying themselves out.
Disney bought Fox.
At some point, Dr. Grace Holloway is a Disney princess. Let's bring her up to it. she must have come around there somewhere. But like I said, and I'll address this to you, Dave. How do we save it? How do we put everything together? How do we put Humpty Dumpty together so everybody knows what a sonic wand is?
We stop freaking out about nostalgia. That's the biggest killer. And I've seen it with Star Trek. I've seen it with Doctor Who. I see it with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You get a new edition of whatever it is, and these older fans go, "That's not what I grew up with. It's the worst thing ever. I won't show my children this. I have
it's not for you. Sorry,
I won't show my kids this."
I was just showing old to new,
and it's not. It's nothing. It's much ado about nothing. But they're hearing. They're not watching it themselves. They're hearing it from someone else who may or may not have seen it. And they're saying, "This is the worst thing ever. Don't watch it. Don't show it to your kids." And then wonder, but at the same time, it's being made with the intention of bringing in a new generation.
No, you are spot on. You're 100% correct.
Yeah, and as you make things for a new generation, it's not that they're not making it for old fans. It's that they're not catering specifically to those old fans. If you look at the new that Shooty got was era, it was very, very much RTD was brought in, and this is public very public knowledge. He was brought in with the mandate to bring in a younger audience, because without a younger audience, the show will die. He tried to do that, as well as emulate the old fans by bringing in, and it didn't work. I'm full disclosure. I love Shooty. I think he was a great doctor. I don't mind most of his episodes.
I think it would have worked if they put it on regular television too.
But at the same time, kids aren't watching regular television.
Yeah.
They're trying to bring in a new generation of audiences. Plus, they also wanted to have it worldwide. That's the streaming thing, is you had it separated out to here. It's on BBC America. Well, I don't get BBC America. For me, it's on Crave. For someone in South America, in South Africa, it's in another channel together. Whereas when it was on Disney, it was on Disney. And if had it gone properly and had it gone well and not been run down, then I have no doubt that classic New Who would have also ended up on Disney. And then you would have this problem. So we shot ourselves in the foot.
Also, why didn't they put on BBC America? That would have helped too.
Because no one outside of America has it. They want a worldwide audience. And they want
I get where you're coming.
Go ahead.
No, I said I would get what you're coming from, Dave, but then I would say I don't think it's completely correct. Because remember, we had an RTD who came back in 2004, 2005, but we also had an RTD who started in 2005.
Yes, and he was given a mandate when he did.
He knew exactly that, and I think he even said it himself in a documentary, that he couldn't do this unless he had classic audiences coming back to help him out. Even though he was introducing a new series, and this is where I've said on many occasions where I appreciated Russell T, because he could have taken it in a direction, but he knew I have to get the classic. In fact, the first episode was with the Autons.
And Christian, the funny part was I kept telling you that the new series felt like it was this one we're reviewing right now of Tennant with Martha, because I kept saying something sounds familiar. So I don't know if he was trying to put that in subtext to get the classic people back.
Well,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I'm piggyback on your point, which also agrees with Dave's point, is that Disney, yes, you don't have BBC America clearly because we're America. They wanted a global audience, so the mandate was global. We're going to sell this to a global audience. That's Disney Plus. And now here with the mandate of you need to do this, and the only way to get this to work is you need the classic fans. That's because now you're selling to a global audience. I'm no longer making it and having different distributors and having, that, okay, well, I'll sell it to the US for this amount of money. I'll sell it to Canada for this amount of money. Well, I know, Singapore, maybe there's some fans in there, but I'm not going to have to sell it for a lot. But there's that much money. No, we're going the whole kit and caboodle with the global audience. So you need the classic fan in order to make global money. We now are investing billions and not millions. How are you going to make your billions back? You need
and Tennant had a contract with Disney because remember, he's the voice of Scrooge, as well as Magic of the Spell is Donna. So they were still under contract with Disney as well. That I can tell you guys.
That bar was way too freaking high. And
so they had to fill out their contracts with that.
And then on top of it, Disney themselves, to Dave's point earlier, was you have it on Disney, and how come out of on the banner on Disney Plus, I don't see Doctor Who telling me that there's a new episode tonight?
Yeah.
I'm watching it tonight. I know you're doing it not as a binge thing. But even Disney didn't advertise?
Here's an analogy to success and failures. Are any of you guys computer gamers? Okay.
No.
I can't see the detail there. You're a tiny little picture about this big. I have no idea what's behind it. But so here's an example. Fallout 3. When Fallout 3 was released, it was a massive hit because they had the formula down. They figured out how to ease you into the missions, how to make it interesting versatile, and made you want to complete the game. Great game. And then Fallout 4 came, and they didn't follow the formula that worked. And it didn't do as well. And then they did Fallout Online, which was a complete reversal of the formula, because the whole purpose of Fallout was a single person game, not a multiplayer game. You were the quest, person who's going out and trying to find everything. And Fallout Online, although it's there, it got so massively bashed that people just refused to play it. And then people started playing Fallout 4 and never finished it. And do we have a Fallout 5? No. They decided just to simplify it and just do it online. And if you pay for it, you pay for it. But it's been years. So many of the same factors happen with Doctor Who. You have a successful formula that has people tuning in constantly to watch the show. Can't wait for the next episode. And then they start deviating from that formula, and the viewership starts to fall off. The key is if you have a formula that's successful, don't deviate from that. Add new stuff to it, but maintain the same formula for a successful series, whether you're talking video games or TV shows.
Or foods.
Don't deviate what works. And that's what Doctor Who did.
I think also when you have a classic IP, there's always this thing about canon, and it's the hardest thing. And of course, Doctor Who's always blown the canon. And people who go like, well, Doctor Who's blown the canon, and say, yeah, but we also had Whovians that were there when in that area that went completely ape, because, if you even tweak it a little, they're going to come out and start doing their thing. Of course, i.e. the kiss that was heard around the world in the TV movie, even being that it was being filmed in Canada. I mean, it was a little bit too much for people, but yeah, as Captain Kirk says in the last Star Trek movie, people can be frightened of change, but I think you need to carry it along, and that's why I to this day appreciated RTD of 2005. He took the IP. He knew that I needed to bring in the classic Who. So instead of just going, I'm going to cut my losses here and start with a new, he continued it with the Ninth Doctor, with Christopher Eccleston. He knew he had to drag everybody back in. But also he did this like with the monsters. So we had the Daleks with the Vashan and Narada. We had the Cybermen. We brought in the Weeping Angels.
But was Christopher the Ninth Doctor because nobody was acknowledging the movie at that time?
Yeah, he was the Ninth Doctor.
They considered him the Ninth Doctor, even though they weren't acknowledging the movie.
They did acknowledge the movie because they considered him the Ninth Doctor. So the movie was in there.
Okay.
It wasn't placed in there as far as we knew about it, but he even had the idea, instead of doing what they did in the TV movie, which was to regenerate out Sylvester McCoy into Paul McGann, they started with Eccleston so that people could get used to him, and then they started going back
and flipped in the War Doctor and everything.
Well, not necessarily. The War Doctor is kind of new.
Yeah, but he was in between Eccleston and the Eighth Doctor, right, and everything.
Right, but that doesn't come until much later, until we get to it. Because what I'm trying to say is there was a development off of what became, and then started moving, and then we're going to add these new stuff. So now we had the WHOniverse was getting bigger, and we were enjoying it. People were begrudging that Missy would, the Master was turning to a woman. Michelle Gomez nailed it, and she nailed it well. That people were going like, you know what, this might not be a bad thing if you're going to do that, but you're going to do it on a level that you're going to have to make people feel comfortable with. Because once you start putting up that wall, once you start telling the folks, and this is what pisses me off at times, this wasn't meant for you. I'm just like, well, kind of, how dare you? Because this show wouldn't be here unless it was there with me buying sonic screwdrivers, buying the DVDs, buying the VHS tapes, watching it on TV, making sure that the ratings were getting up, going out to conventions. The only reason why it's here right now is because I was somewhere with my friends here and making sure that it ran. And even though it went into the wilderness years, the whole reason why it came back is because fans were still making sure that it didn't get lost in the pile.
Well, there's some fans today. There was a post on Facebook that said coming soon, a fanfic movie.
Right. So when people come up and say, and I'm not saying here, but when there's certain social medias that come up and saying this is not meant for you, I'm just like, well, back then it was. So bring me into this. Give me a reason to stick around. As much as I've said, the onus is not on me to legitimize why I'm a fan. The onus is on you to legitimize why I should stay one.
And they did try to do that with things like the Ronnie. Now, whether they succeeded with that storyline or not is a whole other show.
But
fine. They did try to bring back some of those classic things.
They brought back classic things, but they became a joke, and people were like, well, "That's not the Ronnie. That's not Omega. What the hell is this? Timeless Children?" It was something that I'm not easing people in. And then when, like Chris Chibnall was like, you're either in or out, was kind of the attitude. I'm just like, okay, so they're out. So don't expect them to spend hundreds of dollars on sonic screwdrivers, go to the conventions, cosplay, if you're telling them don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Which honestly, I don't think that they were thinking that at all, because how much merch did you see from Shooty?
Just one toy.
How much merch did you see from Ruby Sunday?
Toy.
I mean,
and the doll. And the doll.
Such lack of merchandising for and even then that makes me go again to the licensing piece, because it's why weren't you giving away this license and making money? And also the point of it, getting stuff out there more. Even the cheapest things, t-shirts, you couldn't find them.
Yeah.
Why can't you do something?
I can't tell you.
Well, why can't you
because the fishes are still in production. The fishes are still the bargaining chip.
Yep.
The fishes are still the bargaining chip.
But even at the beginning, it's like at the beginning of, hey, we've got a new doctor. My little
when the doctor regenerated and became a woman, what was people's opinions of that at first?
Oh, they did not like it.
Right. But everybody was like, oh no, the doctor's not a woman. But if you watch,
I cosplayed it as a joke at New York Comic Con, and it actually came to fruition.
So what was really interesting about that is I watched her, and what I loved about her as the doctor is she portrayed the doctor's character spectacularly. So when I watched her, I was like, in many ways, I felt she was a better doctor than some of the previous doctors, because she was right there with the timing and everything.
Yep. Agreed.
I know she's like Team Jody all the way.
The reason why that was successful is because she stuck to the formula.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She studied the previous doctors. So she had the mannerisms down, the responses down, the excitement down, where when she was on the job, she was excited about it, and it came through.
Wait a minute. Did she study the previous doctors? Because I've heard from multiple people that Chibnall told her not to watch Classic Who. Mm-hmm. Not watch
I'm not saying classic. I'm telling
no,
with the new Who, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she worked with David Tennant for a number of years, and she had all of his mannerisms. So
exactly.
It wasn't even necessarily studying Doctor Who so much as knowing David Tennant and theoretically Matt Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she watched the show also just as a fan,
that's what made her believable as the doctor. And I actually enjoyed having her as the doctor. Although the controversy was there, she proved everybody wrong.
But one of the controversies that I've heard people, and this is this is some of the criticisms when it comes to Jodie, is that they didn't feel like she was her own doctor. She emulated what David Tennant and Matt Smith were doing.
You're 100% correct.
She felt like she was her own. And if there was a chance where somebody had taken her, if she had a better showrunner, first of all, I will argue to this day, if she had a better showrunner, we're probably still talking about the 13th Doctor now. Yeah, honestly. If she had somebody touching her that knew what they were doing,
So, Christian, it's a double-edged sword, because by emulating previous doctors and the excitement and how they worked, it made her believable. But the other edge of that sword is now you're just copying.
Yeah, and we saw that with Shooty, in that they were saying he did not emulate the previous doctors. He was a great he was his own doctor, and he was great at it. But everyone then said, "Oh, well, why aren't you more like David Tennant and Matt Smith?" So if they're saying, "Oh, Jodie just copied Matt Smith and David Tennant, why isn't Shooty Gatwa more like David Tennant and Matt Smith?" You can't.
They're not going to win.
Yeah, there is no winning, and that's the problem with that's the problem with nostalgia. There is no winning.
Yeah, you're right, because you can't please everybody,
and we're not 20 years ago.
Yeah,
what a lot of the criticism of Shooty's show come from the British only, because that's all we had. Television numbers, TV viewing habits aren't the same as they were 20 years ago. Well, David Tennant made 10 million viewers. 0 shows outside of football made 10 million viewers. I'm not sure the King's Christmas speech made 10 million viewers.
Yeah,
nobody was making those numbers.
I'd argue that it's not even 20 years. It's even in a pre-COVID to post-COVID world.
Even that, yeah. So it's just people don't watch content in the same way, and we've talked about that already, in the shorter attention spans, more TikTok, more online. But they're trying to solve that. So they put out the War of the Land and the Sea behind the scenes stuff directly to YouTube, so that it had more. The problem with that is that we still don't have it outside of the UK legally. So a little bit of a hard sell for behind the scenes on that internationally. But
she looks like
they're trying.
She's being mauled by the kitty.
Mauled by her. She's here. And her tail's like, and they get stuck in between my here.
Melanie, just have one. Melanie, next episode, just have her sitting there with the headphones on.
They make cat headphones. They actually do make little cat headphones.
The scary thing is I have 5 of them, and a dog. So
you're good. My sister has 17 things. She has 7 dogs, 5 cats, a chinchilla, 2 macaw thingy parrots, and she's Dr. Doolittle. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry. Again,
that's okay. Like I said, it is a double-edged sword. There is no winning to this, and that's where we're sitting right now, is the internet. And if we're talking about how would I market the show, which was kind of the premise of the show, we dropped that an hour ago. Premise of the show.
Welcome to Spill the Geek
Tea. The first thing I would do is shut RTD up, because every time he opened his mouth, he made it worse. Not that the ideas weren't good, or even poorly, not even that they weren't executed well. It's the things that he said about those decisions that then inflamed the internet. When he came up with the new version of Davros, a younger Davros. If we had just gone, this is a younger Davros before he was in his life support machine, everyone would have gone, well, that's annoying. Whatever. But then he had to say no and go into this deep explanation that just made it worse.
To steal a bit of that with an example, when COVID world, we're all locked down, all that kind of fun stuff, and everyone was watching The Mandalorian, because you have people who've never watched Star Wars whatsoever, and they were watching it because what else am I going to do?
The story was gripping,
right,
and entertaining. Yeah,
but Grogu, the fact that Filoni and Favreau knew, and everyone else said, do not put this to China. Do not send anything to anywhere. We don't want anybody seeing this image because we don't want any absolute zero preconceived notions of what this character is, what we're doing. They're trying to murder me. Nothing. It's just gonna.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I like that cat.
You missed this. But they did that, and they were able to get rid of all. They were able to get rid of all so that when we watch this, that when we turn on the TV and started watching Mandalorian, we're like, oh my God, what is that? That's a baby Yoda. What is a baby Yoda? Oh my God, it's a baby Yoda. We all were making up our own stuff at the time, but we went in with no preconceived notions of what the hell this was. The antithesis of that is, to Dave's point, we have RTD just being the most beautiful troll-like human being on the internet. And the second someone came out, he was just like, no, I'm not going to double down on this. We're going to triple down here. I'm going to put the house, screw the house. I'm putting all my chips on this, on 13 Black. So you had this. So, I mean, yeah. And when you do that, you're poking a bear. I don't think you're going to get the reaction that you want. And I think sometimes in the case of like a Grogu kind of thing of, shh, you stop talking now. Just let the audience just put what's out there into the world and see what happens.
He went Stephen Moffat.
Where the Mandalorian failed, and it's just how he set up things is they didn't name Ruku at the beginning. So what everyone ended up calling him was Baby Yoda.
Yes.
And what stuck?
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
Everyone
which
calls
is great.
him Baby Yoda.
Because now Disney they were selling t-shirts that said the words Baby Yoda, and they had the words Baby Yoda everywhere, which is fine. And then when suddenly we have a Grogu name. Here's
they should have made a contest. Then they should have made a contest like they used to back in the day to name it.
Yeah. So here's a quick little story. I used to be part of a hacking crew out of San Francisco, California. And we were called the Disorg Crew. And we invented something called war driving, where you drive around and you pick up, wireless access points. We were the first ones to write the code, and we're the first ones to map out San Francisco. We called it war driving as a placeholder because we wanted to come up with a better name.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time we came up with a better name, everybody on the planet was calling it war driving. So our name never stuck. We could never change the name.
No.
And that's what happens without giving the audience the background or the proper information. You get stuck with whatever they're going to call it.
Which is, honestly, I would argue that's a good thing because you don't have to go through marketing and testing and, oh my Lord, do I hate those rooms where you're behind there with the little screen, the test things, and you're hearing people say, well, I don't even understand this. And you just want to go through there and wring their neck. I'm like, why aren't you just paying attention? How is this difficult?
To test things. I got paid to test things. And
That's why, that 70s show is called That 70s Show. They had another running name for it, and they just stick with that. That's fine. Mm-hmm. So sometimes those organic ones, especially ones that are catchy, that's good in entertainment because it's in that person's head.
Yeah, but the problem is it's not Baby Yoda.
And I argue that that's a good thing because now Disney is selling two T-shirts now to people who want to buy one that says Baby Yoda and one that wants to say Grogu.
And then Baby Yoda becomes plastic and worth more money.
Not anymore. They did
exist
before, and now you want to buy the second one.
Disney never actually sold Baby Yoda.
I saw the merchandise at Licensing Expo.
Yeah, I know, Mel. I know, Mel.
I know, Mel. Okay. It was an aftermarket because people were picking up on the name.
Completely agree to disagree on that one.
I'm pleading the fifth, Mel, too, because remember who I was.
Mandela effect.
I was at Disney every single day on my other channel when it first came out, looking at Mandalorian gear, and not one shirt at Disney said Baby Yoda.
There's 3 distributions I can name. I can't name them, but I know there's 3.
Sunday Rose.
All right, well, guys, we're getting to the end of the show, and as Tom said, Mandela effect.
Yeah, show them what I made for you, Christian, because we're gonna keep that up. If you can bring it to MegaCon if you want.
Let's go ahead and Tom, if you got any, I know we have a few questions out there. Let's go ahead and
way back to the top. Let's see here. Oh my God.
I starred you a few.
Okay, you started. So let's go to the top and go straight down. So anything for stars? Anything starred? Starry,
Rose Kitty's
starry
wishing us a
night.
good morning on the 25th because it just turned around midnight where she's at. So, good morning, Rose. Sweet dreams to us, but good morning to you. Or you're going to go to bed too. So,
there it is. Question.
How quickly is change acceptable for fans and the studio, and who wins out?
Ooh.
The problem, and that kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. Studios can change on a dime if they want, give or take production timeframes, but ultimately they can switch on a dime. Fans get stuck and mired in their own nostalgia
in a rut,
and if they're either
Absolutely.
prone to like the new thing that's going to come anyway, or they're really stuck in nostalgia and they will hate no matter what the new thing is. And we've always known that every Doctor we've seen that some form of that. Every Doctor, there's the regeneration cycle of I love this Doctor, I hate this Doctor. Okay,
yep.
This is a nice.
I hated the frog.
I love this Doctor. I hate this Doctor.
Doctor, I like frog. I didn't.
It's also how you package it too, because if you have a showrunner who you have like Stephen Moffat, who like every episode, after which he was going like, well, everybody's going to be surprised. Everybody's going to be, all the fans are going to enjoy this. Oh, by the way, we all knew it was the Master all along. So, I'm not going to bring the Master back. Oh, we're going to bring Missy in. Oh, everybody knew.
I just remembered something. Didn't the classic series also have the Doctor Who Confidential afterwards too? And this series didn't have it. They didn't have Doctor Who Confidential.
The
It was on YouTube.
Tennant series.
I think you're correct.
They did, but no, they tried bringing it back for Shooties.
Yeah, I remember they were trying. Because that's who was giving me the photo dumps.
Yeah, but again, only if you were in the UK that you got to see it, because they weren't showing it on. They weren't showing it as a tandem extra on Disney Plus. However, I think they might have done they did it like a shorts, or they did it like little snippets on YouTube. But you couldn't keep them. Like, it was almost like a story where they'd show a little bit of it and then go, nope, yoink, you can't have that forever.
And I think that's what also killed the marketing too.
We'll make this the final thing. Billy, you said you guys have an excellent fan show. Thank you. Not only talk about the old Doctor Who, but also the new Doctor Who. Which does your show reach to older Doctor Who fans? I hope so.
Check the algorithm. You can check the algorithm.
After 100,000, I stopped counting. So I'm just how do you reach them if you don't?
Like SEO, search engine optimization.
You know what? This is where I'm going to bring into my new subject. Let me go ahead and wrap the show, because we're going to talk about conventions. There we go. That's a great place to move on for that.
Don't use the coffee makers.
What?
No. Don't use the coffee makers at the convention.
Oh Lord, I would just
yikes.
You know what I'm talking about.
Right, anyway,
I'm sorry.
Right, conventions. When we go over to the conventions, we have our panels. I think the most important part to answer your question, Billy, is for me, it's always welcome everybody. It doesn't matter who, doesn't matter where they come from, what their geekdom is, that they're always accepted. As Shooty and RTD has said, Doctor Who's for everybody, and we got to make sure that it is for everybody as it's moving on. And that's what I'm hoping we're doing when we do every episode of this show and we go around to the panels. But next up, MegaCon Orlando. Of course, we'll be with the Dalek Builders March 19th through the 22nd at the Orange County Convention Center. Go ahead and get your tickets over there. MegaCon Orlando again, and get your tickets, because I hear they are selling incredibly fast. And again, we're going to be with the Dalek Builders of Florida, and the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS will be together, and that TARDIS will also be at MegaCon. Speaking of which, the next convention is going to be taking place at Space Coast Comic Con. Go to spacecoastcomic.com con.com. Good. And that's going to be taking place June 20th through the 21st. We are happy to announce a new convention. These guys don't even know it, so I'm surprising them. Today, we just landed Epicverse. August 21st to the 22nd. This will be taking place in Oviedo, Florida. What? And it's where they I'm still learning about this.
Win the lotto.
I just landed it, but where fandoms unite is where you can see in the title. So we're very excited about this, and wrapping so far up, but say not the least, and definitely possibly not the last, Ancient City Con, September 25th through the 27th. I just want to let you know, Epic, what was it? The Epic event, the Epicverse. We don't know yet, but we are talking to the builders, so they might be there, but they'll definitely also be here at ancientcitycon.com, where you can get your tickets September 25th through the 27th at the World Golf Village Renaissance Resort in St. Augustine, Florida. So we have definitely a busy year 2026, and it is growing. This is Reverend Armagon. That is Paparazzo Dave Chapman. This is Gadget. This is Melanie Dean. You can catch her over at Pieces of Melee over on the Instagram. Lupo Outdoors. You can also catch the Orlando Wizard on the YouTube channel. Dave, go ahead and shout it out where we can find you.
You can find me on all over the YouTubes. Sundays on Spill the Geek Tea, along with this guy here, and sometimes Gadget down there. Every other Monday on Horses on Film at youtube.com/@horsesonfilm. You saw the commercial. It's going to be it's a great time talking about the 100 top westerns of all time, and coming up with starting with the IndieWire list and coming up with our own. You can find me on the first Thursday of every month, so that'll be next Thursday, on Happiness Patrol at Happiness Patrol Show, also with Melanie Dean. And in between all that, you can find me on my own channel, youtube.com/@the-whole-DOTCA. That's the rathole.ca. But YouTube does not like URLs in their URLs.
Got it there. Gadget, where can people find you? Just real fast. Give about 30
Everywhere,
seconds.
anywhere. Gadget Pendragon After Dark is still under production. We're looking for hosts and everything and talent. Gadget Vlogs, lulu.com for my books and everything. Please pick them up. I need money and everything. Job market sucks around here. And we don't get paid here, contrary to what people think and everything. But also Anime NYC, and I'm working on.
I was going to let that secret out, but let's go. Tom, where can people find you, my friend? Speaking of
Spill the Geek Tea on my other channel, Reverend Amagon. And if Mark can say it, boom.
Yeah, there too.
Melanie, where can they find you?
You can find me as of late here. You can find me on Happiness Patrol. You can find me in the Earth Station Network. It's Earth Station Who. You could find me once in a while on Horses on Film. You can find me on Instagram. You could just look around and find me. I don't know. I'm pretty well hidden.
You're like a bad penny.
I'll turn.
And Robert, wrap us up. Where can we find you?
Well, on YouTube for sure, Lupo Outdoors, which is my outdoor channel, and the Orlando Wizard, which is my theme park channel and food reviews. So check that out.
Don't forget, on the way out the door, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe all the episodes. Check us all out. We're putting out a new episode every week, and next week will be our review of Human Nature. And don't forget, before you leave, go ahead and say goodnight to Simon on the way out the door. Everybody on the count of three, let's say goodnight. What's that?
The cat just said it.
Gotcha. Everybody on the count of three. Good night, Simon. 1, 2, 3.
Good night, Simon.
Good night, Simon. Tony, take us out. Thank you, folks, for joining us tonight.
You pushing the button or I pushing the button?
I'll push the button, Frank.